Hello and welcome again. What we're going to be doing now is an introduction to Microsoft Excel. So this is Microsoft Excel. I've pinned mine to my taskbar. So just a reminder how we can do that. I just right click the icon and I can unpin or pin to my taskbar. If you need to be able to get it, if it's not on your taskbar, just go to the start menu. It may well be up here on these pinned already. If it's not there, just click on all and then scroll down to where Microsoft Excel is. This is really just going to give you a brief overview of what it is, some functions. We're going to click a blank workbook. And here we go. It's called Book 1 Excel. That means it's not saved. I'm going to save this file, save as. I'm going to browse. I'm going to save it straight away and put it in EDSQ. I'll put it at task 4 and I'll call it intro workbook WB. And we can see that now it's been saved and it's got intro WB. So let's just have a quick introduction to what we've got here. This is a worksheet and we can see at the bottom it's got sheet. If I was to double click that, I could change it. I'm going to call it intro and just click off and that will change. If I wanted to change the tab color, I could just right click, change the tab color. There we go. If I wanted a new workbook, I just press this tab button, new worksheet, sorry, and I've got that there. But I'm going to go back to intro. Moving along the bottom, we've got the grid here, the sliding scale, which allowed us to zoom in or out, depending on what you want to do. Remember, if you're on a laptop, you can press the CTRL button and then your scroll button on your mouse, and you can get the same there. Coming up here, so similar to Microsoft Word, we've got different tabs: home, insert, page layout, formulas, data, and they allow you to do different things. And then here we've got the ribbon, which allows you to change the fonts, put some borders in, colors, alignment. This one here allows you to change the format of the cell. So we're just going to give a brief introduction. If I left click anywhere in this grid system, so for example here, I've clicked in B3, we can see that I'm now in column B3. So these are columns and these are rows. Okay, so I'm in B3 and I can tell that it's active because it's got the green band around it. And also on the left hand side in the name box, we've got the cell B3. If I just use my keys to go down, my arrow keys, we can see it goes that B4. We can see it changes, move across to C4. In here, this is a formula bar, and this is what you can type in. And I'm just gonna make a small, as a granddad, let's see how many grandkids I might want to have in the future. But let's just say I had loads of grandkids and I wanted to know what they are. So whether male or female, so I'm just gonna put in here, type in their male. Oh no, boys and girls, let's just do boys, girls. And then we'll have the name down there. And let's just say actually Ellie, Peter, and Alex, Alice. Let's just say we've got that. So we know that I'm going to say that Archie's a boy, so I'm just going to put the number 1 in there. Ellie's a girl, I'm going to put the number 1 in there. Peter's a boy, put the number 1 in there. Jane's a girl, 1 in there. Alex is a boy, could be a girl, put 1 in there. In fact, let's put Alex as a girl. Okay, and then Alice is a girl. Now, I know that this is simple mathematics, but we're going to work out the totals now. Now, in this cell here, which is cell C9, I'm going to sum all the totals here. And I know that it's 2, but we can see. So I'm going to type in that. I'm going to type equals. And look what happens at the formula bar, equals there. And now if I go up here, this is the auto sum function. And I could auto sum there. Click on auto sum and it'll come up with, it's going to sum these cells here from cell C3 down to cell C8. And now if I just press enter, we can see I've got 2. If I wanted to drag that across, so autofill there, if I'm going to go to the bottom right hand corner, you can see that the cursor changes to a small, so it's a big white cross, small cross. I'm just going to left click, hold that, and then drag it down and move it across, and then let go. And now it's auto filled in that one there. And if I go to here, we can see that it's replicated that formula there. So now what happens if I just type in here 1, it can change there. Okay, so it can change there. So we've done that. So that's quite easy to do. It's just a simple way of putting them in there. Now, if I wanted to make this a little bit nicer on the eye, I'm just going to highlight these cells here and then go to the borders, which is this one here, and then add a border. So I've added a border now. Go to these. Let's just make them bold. Put them in the middle, and we'll do a fill. Let's put. And likewise here, we can make them bold. Let's say let's put them in light green. Make them bold and put them in the middle as well. So now we can see that we've done that. Now, if I want to make a table of how many boys and girls I've got as grandchildren, what I could do is I could highlight that row and press the CTRL button on my keyboard, highlight that row. So I've got 2 rows highlighted, the boys and girls. And now I'm going to go to insert. And it says recommended charts. I'm just going to go recommended charts there. Here we go, all charts. Let's just use that one because it's got different colors. So I've gone back from recommended charts, all charts, boys and girls, there we go. And I can put that in there. My chart's quite big at the moment, so all I'm going to do is just going to left click and move that over there. And then make it a little bit smaller. And we can see that when I've clicked on it, it's got its data from here, which is good. I'm just going to double click that chart title, click into it and say number of grandchildren. So there we go. I could add a chart element over here, axis tab, primary vertical. I could change that to number of children, press enter, and that will come in there. So I've got that. So I've now got a chart, number of boys and girls, number of boys and girls. And if I put another one in here, so if I moved Alex from a girl and put her to a boy, you can see that the chart automatically then changes. And there's lots more that I can do for that if I wanted to, but this is just an introduction to Microsoft Excel. I hope you found that useful. So I can use the sum function there. Let's just say if I was to move that, and now I'm going to put a new column in there, insert, new column. You can see I put a new column in there. And I'm going to put their age here now, age. So let's just say Archie's 7, Peter's 10, Alex is 5 there. And let's just replicate that age there. Age, and you can see how it's gone. Age. Let's just highlight them and put a border around that. So let's just say Ellie is 6, Jane is 14, and Alice is, say, 17. Okay, I could replicate my formula, so I've just clicked in there, left touch, and gone that across. And that would give me the combined ages for all the children. The boys is 22 and the girls is 37. Okay, so there's different things that you could do. Here it says sum. Well, if I wanted to, I could change that to, type in there and type in average. And now it's given me the average age there. And here I could move that. In fact, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to put equals, and I can go auto sum here. Click on there and go average. And it will put that into there for me. It's the average. Let's just move that up there. F3 to F8. There we go. And we can see it's now gone to decimal places, which I don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to go there and I'm going to click on this one. 7.3. So I'm just moving the decimal places. This here's got an error message. I'm just going to click that. Ignore that error because I know that this is the average of them ones there. Go. There we go. So now I've got my average age. I could, if I wanted to, find the maximum age there and then the minimum age there. So let's just put max there. Min there. So that equals max, open brackets, and I'm just going to highlight these two, highlight that row of cells, D3 to D8, close brackets, 10. I could put equals min, open brackets, close brackets, press enter, and then the minimum value is 5. Get rid of the error formula. Now there is an auto sum function. I could go equals max there, but when I put that in, it just uses M1. So I'm just going to move that up, move the formula up. So I'm only counting these cells here, not the average. So my maximum value is 17. I could also go here and go minimum value, and again it's just done this, that's there, so I'm just going to move them up, press enter, and my minimum value is 6. So if I change Ellie to 33, we can see that the average, all these different things change there. So hopefully that's just a brief introduction. I always think sometimes it's good to have a play around with it and then just make some things up and put some data in and then just play around with it. But that's just a brief introduction to Microsoft Excel. Thank you.